Okay, fam. So, as you know, Sunday we spoke with Harvey and we touched on a few things, and a lot of you have DM'd me and asked in comments certain questions. So, I thought that we should bring them back up because I will forget and put them in a video. And as I'm trying to do all these other requests, and I have all your music requests, don't worry. I plan on doing Upchurch tomorrow and another Cryptic Wisdom, and I believe we have Bone Thugs and Harmony that I gotta get to. So I'll be doing them all, and then it looks like there's more Eminem. So I've got your guys' list still. But as I'm going through this, I ran into some more comments that we all love, but it has to do with all of us. For instance, I love Tupac, and somebody was talking about Tupac, and this guy says, "You're just another dumb fuck that thinks Tupac would have supported Black Lives Matter. Tupac was a Muslim. Have you ever read the Quran? Have you ever read the Bible? They all speak of the same things. Respect everyone no matter what their beliefs, except for racist fucks like you. I've been oppressed just like Tupac, and you are. I've read more about religions and Tupac than you ever will. I spent 3 years in prison reading the Bible, the Quran, and everything that has to do with oppression." If you want to write to a 12-year-old, you should learn a little more about the language you speak. You should be giving me advice and writing correctly. Read the Quran. Tupac did. I did. Tech 9 was raised Christian and Muslim. He also raps with people of all nationalities. Read more. Learn how to write. Be an example for the future. To end this, I respect all rappers that studied up on what they wrote. And then somebody started clowning. He goes, "Ninja, I just went to your page and you watch Japanese cartoons and shit. You're like MGK trying to diss Eminem right now. You ain't got shit. You're whack as fuck if you were really around to see Tupac alive." Oh, you just gotta love how things flip. Okay, so then it all branched from this. This is what really set it off. Furthermore, black people cannot be racist. Not liking white people is one thing, but we cannot control white people's destiny through racism and hatred. Lord Jamar brought knowledge of self to the game. They are guests in the sense, well, he put sense instead of sense, of them doing what we created. We created all musical genres anyway. 52 people like this. This cannot be true. This cannot be. There's got to be a music major, a music historian. Not that it really matters, because I don't have a stake in this, and I really don't care. But the fact that there's 52 people who think this is true, and possibly more, just can't be right. So then this person says, "What the hell makes you think black people as a collective can't be racist?" And then another person says, "Exactly. There's no way around it, yo." And then someone says, "Yeah, I mean, to get all the technicalities and specific meanings to racism, but what I mean by that is he clearly dislikes white people. I can't side with anybody that hates a race, so I'm going to leave it at that. Lord Jamar is ignorant, and if Eminem's truly a guest, he's a guest that achieved more success than anybody else in the rap genre. Don't see how that works." I said this something just mad. I don't know. I don't know what that person said. So then somebody else said, blacks can't be racist. Wrong. In South Africa, whites driven out of their homes to be killed because they're white. That's racism. And then they try to bring it to the rap game. And then someone says, do your research if you gotta ask questions. And then one black person put, my people have got to stop the bullshit about Eminem because Eminem is a legend. And then they also brought up hip-hop to 5% Nation, and mad people don't realize how influential that has been on the hip-hop and culture as a whole. Word. Please don't say Lord Jamar is a racist, and don't nobody have to do nothing for our community. Get off your lazy Section 8 asses and do for yourselves. And then someone still went back to that one person who says, I can't be racist. And they said, who gave you that definition of a racist? And then somebody else put, you're ignorant as F. So you think there is these white, powerful people in America that control every single thing in the world. They control every little thing black people do as a collective. They determine success and failure on all levels. They have mind control over 300 million people in America. They say, now everyone, you will like this black rapper music. His name is Boozy, 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, Dre, or insert any other rapper's name and you will like his music. You will buy his music. You think they did the same with Kevin Hart or Dave Chappelle? They have such great mind control. They told everyone in America, you will like this black comedian and apply this to any other successful black person. Do you realize how effing R-word you sound? If that's the case, and these select few powerful white people that hate black people as a collective so much, according to you, had so much control over people's minds and of black people's minds as a collective, why wouldn't they let any black person be successful? If these powerful white people in control of everything hate black people as a collective so much, why would they let any black person become successful? Why would these white people who have so much control over every black person as a collective's fate and have mind control over all Americans only use it on deciding what black people as a collective are successful? If they had this much power, why would they waste it on something so stupid? Why wouldn't they use their power of mind control to take over the world? And then somebody got mad and said, so this guy is just really going with black people can't be racist meme, unironically. Feel like you might be one of the racist black people. My comments on this situation is that it's like white people, some, can come into our culture and get more recognition than us when they don't really have an interest in us, just our culture to make money. Well, I'm not saying he sucks because he's white. I am saying that him being white did have an impact on how successful he is today. I'm not going to sit here like racism doesn't exist and be political for a good public opinion, knowing that this country was built over one race hating the other and using that race to get financially independent, and knowing that it was actually laws created to keep black people in prison after slavery to keep slavery going. I'm not about to act like I don't get accused for stealing for no reason other than me being black. I'm not about to act like blacks are at a disadvantage in this country because of fear. Me personally, I don't think white people look at us the way they do because of how we are now, but because of how we were slaves. They will never be able to get that out of their head, the same as us, just in a different way. I'm going to keep it 100 right now. I'm not white, but just being Hispanic, I don't look at people based on something that happened to their ancestors. My husband is like a Heinz 57, and he cracks up because a large part of him is Scandinavian, and Scandinavian is Viking. I don't look at him and think, where's your axe or whatever it is that Vikings carry? Or, gosh, you guys were a bunch of murderers, you know? I don't. Same thing as if I were to meet Native Americans. I'm not going to be like, hey, got any blankets for me to borrow? You know? I'm not trying to be insensitive, but how in the world would you know what another person is thinking? I don't think white people look at us the way they do because of how we are now, but because of how we were slaves. They will never be able to get that out of their head. What kind of people are you around? Man, that's the last thing in my mind. You know, honestly, I'm going to tell you guys something. Everybody is so insecure out in public. Everybody is so afraid of what the other person thinks. If they have one less stitch of makeup on, if they don't have one perfect hairdo right in the right spot, if they're not wearing the exact perfect outfit, the perfect shoes, everybody's so worried about their appearance. It doesn't go deeper than that. In my case, I'm just worried about getting 50 things done in exactly 60 seconds. I could care less if the whole world is burning down. I have got to get 50 things done before the world burns down. Tunnel vision. And that isn't good, but that is how it goes. If somebody gets in my line of go, 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 I'm pissed. I'm like, you just screwed up my entire day. Because now I've got even less time to do the other things that I need to do. I'm not saying that this person's wrong, but maybe she's the only one that thinks that. We're projecting our own views onto other people. And this is what I'm trying to get across to everyone that will maybe listen, is what I see is a lot of, don't worry about us, these are black people problems. You get out of here and don't worry about us. Okay, so at first it was nobody cares, or first it was slavery, and then nobody cares, and now we don't need you. So what would happen, and I'm purposely being insensitive on purpose so I could play devil's advocate. What would happen if everybody just starts taking that narrative? What would happen if all of a sudden everybody's tears started drying up and everybody's feelings just said, you know what? We'll just find a different music genre to stan, or we don't need to mess with hip hop anymore. We'll just go ahead and just all love country music or rock and roll, and you guys can all say that, you know, you invented it and nobody is gonna dispute it. You guys will be okay with, you know, everybody doing their own thing. And just think about that. At first you guys said nobody cared about hip-hop. It was empty. It was something you guys, you know, did, made up because you guys couldn't do anything else. And now that everybody's jumped onto it, you guys are like, no, no, no. Okay. So what's going to happen is people are going to be sick of everything, and then they're just going to start turning away from it. I guess that's what you guys want. You guys don't need anybody to appreciate the music. Nobody to want to learn about the music. You said you don't want people making money off of the music, even if it is their own music that they're making money off of, but it's that genre. What happens when the generations become so far away from you? Is that the same narrative you're going to carry? Because I'm hoping that the generations will be far enough along that color will be seen as absolutely nothing. Like, and it just happens to be the amount of melanocytes that I have, or melanin in my skin. You know? How much better protected I am against the sun. The fact that we can't even come to an agreement on this shows we have a lot of problems as people, but I'm starting not to care, just like you guys. F it. It really is, because when I'm doing this, right? I do these little things, and I show my appreciation for different artists. And like I said, I listen to so many different genres. But you guys came here because you guys like a lot of the same music I do. I haven't even got to tap into everything that I love. I haven't got to listen to Frank Sinatra, Celtic Women, CCR, Ray Charles. I haven't got to listen to like so much stuff because you guys are. I want to listen to so many different things and discover different artists, but we've been just kind of in this loop, and that's okay. That's fine. So here we are, and I'm getting this kind of hatred of, why are you here, and why can't you get a life, and why are you in our culture, and you're just a white lady, and don't you understand? And at first, not being used to being called that, not overreacted, but I reacted like, I'm not white. You know, and that just shows how you're judging me. But then seeing how this must be what white people or Caucasians go through, seeing that this may be something that some of my loved ones, or even maybe one day my daughter might go through, who has the biggest heart in the world. Right now, all of her friends are different colors than her. It's hilarious. I'm going to tell you this story. When she was going to school, I mean, very, very tiny, they had taken her to a special class because she's just a wee bit smart. And girls, I hate to say it, but girls are, especially, I don't know when boys catch up, but, and Blue, just exclude yourself completely from this conversation, but they took her into this room and they had the children draw everybody in their class. To my horror, she drew her best friend, and her best friend is a little African American girl. So she went up to her friend. I think her name is, I forget what her name is, but and I won't use it. We'll just call her Rosie. So she went up to Rosie and she picked exactly the crayon that matched her skin color. So I'm trying not to freak out. I'm just standing there completely uncomfortable because this is not going to be acceptable by any means. So the end of class comes and I go up to the teacher as calm as I can and I say, you need to get my daughter's paper back because she cannot give her best friend this portrait that she drew. You know, I have no idea why this is going to be considered like a hate crime. And the teacher just laughed. She said, no, because the children are learning that everybody comes in different colors. And I said, that's cute. I love that. And she goes, and everybody comes in different shades. I'm like, that's wonderful. I haven't even taught my children that. They have no idea what black means, or African American means, or Hispanic, or Mexican, or white, or they don't know what any of those, they don't know what any of that means. They don't know that. They just know man, woman, kid, baby. That's it. And maybe that's crazy of me, but I don't feel a need for them to be having to bother with that. They've have enough to deal with, and they have a whole world of pain awaiting them, so why bother with something as trivial as that? This was something that I feel growing up, my family put an over importance on. We're this, so we gotta be this way. Well, before. Yes, there is traditions that you're supposed to keep, but when you're the only one keeping them, when does it stop? Unless you guys really have a truly special family. Mine is so shattered, glass looks at me like, how? I don't know. So, that whole unity thing, So anyway. So all this, I was just baffled. So everybody got mad because a lot of people were saying, we don't even know who Lord Jamar is. So then people were saying, well, then that just goes to prove how uneducated you are, because Lord Jamar is this special figure in hip-hop. He's a rapper, and he's from the band, or the rap group. I always say band, and that's so embarrassing. He's from Nubian. Something Nubian. My head's hurting so bad I can't even think of the whole name. And yes, he speaks on certain points, and I feel like he and Joe Budden would get along. That's how I feel. You know when you see somebody spoiled, you know that they've gotten away with so much. So they have this kind of air about them. That's how I feel when I see them. They say whatever they want when they want, because nobody has said anything to them. So this person put, M ain't a guest, but Vlad absolutely is a guest, even if he considers himself a journalist, which is pretty laughable when he basically a tabloid that baits people. To consider himself a part of the culture when he contributes nothing to it is laughable. Saying, oh, we used to chop it up in the bay, don't make you shit. What if Vlad's a joke? Then why all y'all watching and supporting his channel? Just saying, hip hip was never about color back in the day when there were real MCs and lyrical ability was a mandatory skill set. This is the first Vlad video I've seen, and it's because of the title. I would have never known who Vlad is if it weren't for Eminem being in the title. Vlad is as much a part of the culture as the rest of the people that listen to hip-hop. His interviews and money grabbing for sure detract from any respect he's due, though. I ain't gonna lie, Lord Jamar racist as fuck. He just don't want to admit it. What has he ever done for our community or the hip-hop community in general? Yikes. I don't even know who he was until I saw an interview on Vlad, and still don't care what he has to say. Once he made a stupid comment once about the race in an interview, I never wanted to listen to him again. He's a clown in my opinion, and sounds like he's jealous and envious of Eminem's career. Eminem is top 10 GOAT in hip-hop. And this person goes, you must be young to ask what has Lord Jamar done for hip-hop. He was part of Brand Nubian. I was going to say that, and I thought that sounded... Anyway, one of the greatest hip-hop groups of all time. I don't know about that, but it was one of the few. Furthermore, black people cannot be racist. Not liking white people is one thing, but we cannot control white people's destiny through racism and hatred. Lord Jamar brought knowledge to knowledge of self to the game. There are guests in the sense of them doing what we created. We created all musical genres anyway. What makes you think black people can be racist? Anyway, I just want to know what you guys think. I feel that if it wasn't for these people standing up, look at white people are invaders and guests to the continent of Africa. Facts. That is not racism from black people, but racist white imperialism of their ancestors, which continues to this day. Golly. I'm not going to read that racist comment. That is complete racism. First of all, not all white people did that. It was the British. Second off, there have been black people whom have raped and hung white people in both America and Africa. Third off, African Americans weren't the only slaves back then. The Irish were, as well as other cultures of white people and Asian cultures. It was a race thing. It was the fact that Britain wanted as much power as they could possibly get, so they enforced their false power on everyone they could, which is why when they learned they couldn't control the Irish, and the Irish almost completely drove Britain off of Ireland, which is why most of Ireland is now Irish, with a small part of being Scottish. They also tried to kill off all of the Irish by poisoning their crops, leaving only potatoes for them to be able to eat. I remember reading about that. Britain wanted power, so they fucked everyone else over because of it. Well said. And then there's this one says, I love dumbass people that say black people cannot be racist because they have no control over white people. That makes no sense. Do your research doubting black people if you think we don't have the ability or to affect other people's lives. I see it every day. At a business, workplace, school, sports, you don't see it near as much as whites, but it does happen. You need to step out of your little box. This guy said, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Anyone can be racist. Our community, you're not even black. It's amazing how white boys get online and pretend to be black. If you don't know who Lord Jamar is, you don't belong on hip-hop culture, period. All you white folks worship Tupac, and he would have been ready to slap flames out of y'all for saying anything bad about Jamar. The question is, what have white folks done for hip-hop besides mainstream it and destroy it like they do everything? And then somebody clapped back. Stupid comment of the day. Black people can definitely be racist. The definition of racism is someone who hates another person or believes himself superior to another person based solely on the color of their skin. Whether that's racism or institutional or not, does not protect that person for being a racist. If you go around saying that white people are half human aliens that lived in caves and aren't anywhere near the status of black people, you're a fucking racist. That's the same as a white person calling black people, I'm not saying that, and not equally human. It's the same bullshit opposite offender. And then someone's calling out this other person. What the F have you done? Don't worry about the white boy. He cool. Ha. Can pay his mortgage and shit. Get off the red skins balls. And then this guy says, that's such bollocks. Racism is the hating on someone because of their race. If you went certain countries in Africa, they ain't fucking with white people and they can control their destiny within their country. Same as China, India, Saudi Arabia, whatever. You just have never been out of that shithole of a country, USA. No disrespect to the land, but your people are fucked in the head. I'm gonna like this comment because I feel like going back under my rock. Ugh. Then this is another person getting on this person. You're stupid as fuck. All races can be racist. I know black dudes that won't fuck with black girls unless they're mixed with some other races. The first black guy ever admitted to me said black women got big old noses and ugly as F. That's a lie. People can't voice their opinion simply because they're white. Isn't that the entire anti-racism thing based on the fact that color doesn't matter? M is the guest of honor that took over the rap industry. He's like JFK and MLK Jr. on civil rights. He's just an old hip-hop head. I don't even think the group he was in was one of the best from the early 90s. He has a platform to give an opinion just like anyone else. Talk about Lord Jamar. Even if his opinions are stupid, if you came up in something just like every one of your other peers, you're not a guest. It's a racist thing to say, in a way, like saying a black skateboarder is a guest in skateboarding. You'd be called racist for singling a black skateboarder out, or saying Tiger Woods is a guest in golfing. It's a white man's sport. Yeah, these people are wilding out, and these comments are acting absolutely insane. You 90s and 2000 babies are just rhetorical junkies. You dummies will regret being so dumb one day, especially our black youth. Don't let these devils steer you on the wrong path. Wow. I don't think I know for a fact that Tupac would not have supported Black Lives Matter because he didn't believe marching changed anything. Like I said, I actually met the man more than once, and Tupac was a jail Muslim like a lot of black dudes that get locked up. He didn't practice no Muslim teachings regularly. When did Tupac ever talk about anybody else's oppression but black people's? You let me know, and I'm cool to teach, but my problem is the internet has created a bunch of know-it-alls. The fact is the media hated Tupac. When he died, a lot of white folks were happy because they hated gangster rap. But millennials don't know that they try to pretend like he was so loved by everyone, and he wasn't. Wow. Rap is not a culture. It is a genre of music. Anyone can make it. I'm sure some of Drake's shitty ghostwriters are white, and you don't complain about his shitty music. Damn lie there, no white people in South Africa being driven from their home. White people stole the land in South Africa. This person put, I know Tupac was hated by lots of people. He was helping out his fellow black man. Here's the thing, though. You don't think that if he had succeeded more against black oppression, he wouldn't have gone on to help other races that are oppressed? At the end of the day, it's basically anyone not light-skinned that is being oppressed. I had to slang dope because I was a product of oppression in the U.S. I couldn't get a job legally, so I did what he did. I had to survive just like him, and you know what? I also fought for my rights just as much as he did. Irish people were never slaves in America. Indentured servitude, not slaves. Irish people never being through Jim Crow's laws. Whites enslaved Africa, destroyed many civilizations. You dumb as fuck. He just explained why. I guess you just read black people can't be racist bit. Eminem's a culture vulture, a hunky piece of shit. White media hype him. He ain't the king of hip-hop after Elvis. Here we go again. The culture vulture want to make another hunky the king of hip-hop. It's not on my top 30. I'm 40. I knew too many good rappers better than him. Wow. It's just getting nuts. Here we go. Why is Lord Jamar a racist? Because he tells the truth. Hip-hop was a house that was built by black people, just like country music was a house built by white people. White people are not going to let black people destroy the house of country. That's why you don't see many black country artists. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. Black people can't be racist to another race. Come on, bruh. And saying because black people started hip-hop, all whites are guests. A white man invented basketball. Does that make MJ a guest? Does that make LeBron a guest? Shake my head. And the group wasn't better than Wu-Tang or Bone Thugs or NWA, and M has done more for hip-hop than Lord Jamar, and I don't care if he was around first. Would he have been interviewed or relevant like Eminem if he had been a solo artist only, not in Brand Nubian? Would he be a so-called legend? Hell, if he had the same skills he contributed to Brand Nubian, but as a solo artist born and raised where he is from, only white, would he have reached the same success as M or been held to the standard M has? And would he consider or accept himself as a guest in hip-hop if he accomplished what M has musically and career-wise? Or a legend? Don't worry, I'll wait. That was pretty good. I get it, but then African Americans complain about not getting into stuff that white people created. You can't even spell. And just because you don't have the power to control people's destiny doesn't mean you're not a racist. If I call you a cracker in the bus stop and the walk away, guess what? I'm racist even if you get on the bus or not. What a stupid comment. So then all black people are guests to sports? Eminem and Adele would be considered average if they were not white. Eminem, I have never heard any black people listening to Eminem. If it wasn't on the radio, Boozy Ass is irrelevant and basically unknown outside of Louisiana. Oh, wow. That's what's up, OG. Take care of your kids and show them some good music. None of the mumble crap. Show them some good lyricists and poets like Pac. Also, I don't know if you hear of NF. Who taught black people racism? Oh my god. The most racist person I ever met was black hating Hispanics. It doesn't matter. Black hating Hispanics. Eminem is a guest, period. Hip hop is not his culture, it's black culture. It was great, yes, we know, but he's still a guest. Eminem only outside all black rappers because white people who even listen to rap start supporting him. And Cardi B is black. Latinos and black people have the same forefathers, that's facts. If Eminem was black, he wouldn't be popping. M is a master lyricist, in my opinion, and not many can hold a candle to him. Still facts today. Cardi B, if he disliked white people, he wouldn't be fucking with Vlad. Walk down your street, ask 10 people if they know who Lord Jamar is, then ask those same 10 people if they know who Eminem is. Any questions? This person says, nobody cares about what you say. M is overrated. He's good, but not all that. Most of his fans are white. Those are his cells. Some of Pac's records sold because new people were exposed to hip-hop through M. That's true. I'm not saying he gets any credit, but you can't put an asterisk by Eminem's name simply because he has fans that are white. Eminem opened the industry in a big way to other cultures beyond just black, which caused sales for everyone to go up. Yep, Eminem did want to make music like Tupac. You gotta be the most ignorant person in 2018. Lord Jamar isn't racist. Racism requires systematic oppression that hasn't existed against white people in America. I think it's kind of happening now. That's what I'm coming down to. If there's a white person around, they usually are quiet, or if they try to talk, they seem very out of place. and they try to over make up for being kind because they're worried they're going to come off bad. And if there is a fight or there is a misunderstanding, usually the white person will try to back out of it for fear of being called racist. Nobody wants to be called racist. My brother, who looks very much more Hispanic, in fact, he's been called Egyptian by a lot of people. And if you look at my brother and you look at me, we don't look alike. He gets in those arguments because I have two brothers. One brother who will not get in arguments to save his life, and then I have another brother who will because he doesn't give a shit. And when they try to pull that race card, yeah, he freaking goes ballistic. Because, you know, he knows he's straight up Mexican 100%. And he's like, no, we don't play that. We did not play that, you know. Came up from nothing just like everybody else. And you're gonna tell me that? In fact, my brothers have two friends, Ahmed and Eric. And they lived in better houses than we, and all their lives they're best friends. And I crack up because they play jokes on each other all the time. Like, they'll go to the gym. They all live in different states now because they all went to college and finished. It wasn't easy for my brother. I could tell you guys tons of stories. Anyway, my brother consisted of living in cars, living with friends, selling everything he owned just to go to school, just to be biomedical engineer. Yeah, just to do that. He didn't have no free ride. He didn't have anybody paying for anything. No scholarship, no nothing, no dad, just my mom who's like beyond broke. And so he did it. There's my brother. And he's worked, first he went to mechanic school for Mercedes and then moved to New York, got married, came back, then he decided to go ahead and work for Lamborghini, made lots of good money, and then he got bored doing that, and then that's when he wanted to do something to help people, like do the robotics thing to help people like move if they didn't have limbs. And that's when he just like sold everything he had, and of course the marriage didn't work out, but it was for the best. And so he's doing that now. He's the one that came down from Arizona and was having me react to all these crazy things. He's more like me than my other brother. My other brother, he doesn't want to start nothing. He's always telling me to stop starting stuff. So anyway, make a long story short, whenever you get Michael, my other brother, he will play pranks on Eric and Ahmed. He will see them at the gym and he'll be like, wait a minute, I just left your house. How did you get here? And it'll be just like one of his other friends. They'll be like, shut up, dude. We don't all look alike. And Michael just thinks it's funny as heck, but they don't think it's any. They've been saying that since they were children, you know, like 7, 8 years old, like telling each other dumb stuff. And the weird thing is, like, Ahmed's not even African American, he's Salvadorian, and he keeps telling Michael that. And Michael's like, whatever. We know. Sure, you know, it just, they're always capping on each other. It's hysterical. So anyway, so that's just how we grew up. We just grew up different. And I'm just looking at all my pictures of all my friends, and everybody's mixed, and everybody's happy, and everybody's drinking, and everybody's merry, you know. And when I came back and looked online, and I'm seeing all these comments, and people are just being just ugly. These comments are ugly to read and ugly to look at. Lord Jamar isn't racist. Racism requires a systematic oppression that hasn't existed against white people in America. He is incredibly prejudiced towards white people. Who can and can't be racist depends on where you are in the world. If white people invaded it, chances are it's still feeling the effects of imperialism. Good rule of thumb is that if people that look like you murdered, raped, or oppressed people in a country, you shouldn't fucking move there. You should have 2 generations between you and the last generation that knew people alive then. White people as a whole invaded different countries. The British were the best at it, but everyone was involved. I'm so tired of hearing about the Irish in America. They faced discrimination like every immigrant group did. Indentured servants were treated better than the slaves. You really need to learn what people were legally allowed to do to slaves. Indentured servants were effed if people started to doubt if they were white or not. Like, that shit actually happened. I really feel like Lord Jamar is racist, and I don't like him. He's stuck in the past and feel like white rappers ain't shit. He dumb as fuck and need to get with the times and accept that Eminem helped to shape the culture and has earned his spot in hip-hop. Who the F are you, and why would Lord Jamar care if you don't like him? He is hip-hop. That's what stupid internet mother effers like you don't get. You've never heard Eminem say a bad word about Jamar because he know better, and he know Jamar is right. Only you internet nerds and irrelevant ninjas like Boozy with his trash ass think different. You're a moron, LOL. Wrong, bruh. Google racism and tell me if your definition matches up. It's racist Jamar thinking our people are superior in a category, rap, and can't exclude who we want is racism straight up. You talking institutional oppression, which is real, but don't equate the two because make us look like some fools. That's why he said meme. Quit being fake, woke, and hit the books. Did this motherfucker just say black folks can't be racist? You're delusional, pal. Many white people who live there are missionaries who help your shitty third world countries, and they've been driven out. What the fuck ban a certain kind of people from a country? That's racism? What if every white country sent their blacks back to Africa? Would you like it? That's corrupt battlefield of a country. Sure, I bet you'd like it. Let people live where the fuck they live, unless you want to go back. Many who live there are fucking farmers and should be left alone. If we gonna ban whites from Africa, let's ban blacks out of America since it's majority white country. Fun? No. You don't want to live in a third world shithole? Exactly. Let people live where they want to live. And then this person goes, Eminem did say some shit about Jamar. Didn't you even listen to Kamikaze? If Jamar is hip-hop, and this person actually wrote it with the H's being capitalized, why the F a lot of people never heard of him? I heard of Pac, Biggie, Dougie Fresh, Slick Rick, NWA, Method, Red, etc. and say he racist because he's still looking at the color of his skin and not his talent? Ninja, and I don't give a F about who know me and who the fuck don't. Bitch, I know me. Don't start internet thugging over a mother effing comment about someone's opinion. Bitch, multiple people commented on this video. Jamar racist. Go at them, not me. Damn. You mean the white South Africans who call themselves Europeans so they could have Europeans only sings to keep the blacks out till circa 1990? And it's not because they white, it's because according to South African history, they're not the rightful owners of the land. So yeah, not racism. Prejudice plus power equals racism. White have all the power in America. Invited racism. Now want to label blacks. What they create out of thin air. Doesn't work. Blacks can't be racist by definition. Carry on. Read a book. What the hell? You just described institutionalized racism, you ignorant fuck. Not the same thing. Maybe open the book you're telling other people to read and stop getting your definitions from Charlemagne. Wow. He is not racist. It's the truth. If Eminem was black, he wouldn't have all the success. White people stick together and black people fall apart. Just how it is. Even if Eminem is not aware, he gets special treatment. Boozy ain't say he wanted to say because he didn't want to lose his fan base. Tell it how it is, not what you think you want them to hear, and that's facts, and blacks can't be racist. Lord Jamar had bars, but we're talking about 27 years ago. His last hit was Punk's Jump Up to Get Beat Down. I recall it barely going gold in the first year. I think Jamar's forgetting 3 times Dope and a slew of others above ground. White rappers that were around in the early to mid-80s that helped pave the way, and of course the Beastie Boys. As a black man, I hate when some of us can't just accept the fact that some white people are successful and talented without them being prejudiced or in the Illuminati. And bar for bar, Eminem would chew up Jamar and spit him out, so he's fucking salty as hell. Hashtag kamikaze. It's like, exactly. And then we could move on, and I wouldn't have had to have done this video. Sorry, guys, but I want you guys to write in the comments. I want you guys to give us stuff to comment and talk about, because I'm hoping to go live on Sunday with Harvey this Sunday, just for like maybe 2 hours, and talk about some of these things, because I really feel that now it's starting to turn against Caucasians. Because have you noticed, why are we so quick to say, we can say cracker? Did you know that when I was in high school, I did not think that cracker was a racial term? Because cracker sounds very cute. A cracker is something you find in your kitchen. I did not know that that was a racial term, honestly. I thought I made it up in my mind as a cute term of endearment for my friend. It wasn't until later that someone told me, do you know that that is a racial term? And yeah, so. You want to talk about being far out of the loop? That's me. Good night, you guys. Talk to you later.